Hello, my lovelies. Elsie here to do your sneak peek for the week. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you've had a great week. Let's find out what's going on for you. Coming up, when are you seeing this? When are you getting your sneak peek? Well, that depends on when you're here. Are you here today? Are you here next week? So it's going to be 7 days from the time that you view this. Thank you so much for clicking here. I do appreciate the way you celebrate me by just pushing that thumbs up. Thank you for doing that. You guys are making a huge difference. We're about to close in on 70,000. That's pretty exciting for me. Someone who thought that this wasn't really going to amount to anything. So thank you so very much as we crawl into that new number. I'm here with 12 decks to my left, and I'm going to read a little bit from all of them, and I'm going to give you as much energy as I can coming up for the next 7 days. So I'm going to ask you to stop watching tarot just for your sun sign. Look, it's just really your blueprint. It's just going to allow you to know yourself better than you already do, because you're not just your sun sign, and you are your moon sign, which is your soul, and your rising sign, which is the way everybody else sees you. All right, so I hope that you will do that. I'm going to mark everything down below in the description, so you can just click on whatever time you need, and all the timings are in the description below. But for most of you, depending on what you are viewing this video on, whatever device, you'll be able just to scroll by and pick whatever signs you want to watch. So thanks very much for doing that. The only other thing I should tell you is that private reads are open if you're interested in any of that, and if you're not, it's okay too. Let's find out what's going on for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Let's find out what's going on for my fire family. Aries, how are you? Let's find out what's going down. Tell me about Aries, please. Aries, we've got the King of Cups here to begin with. Why do we have that? Tell me about the King of Cups. We've got the Star energy here. Been wishing for something? It's almost like you're quietly wishing for something, because when the King of Cups is here, I'm not really giving you much information on the surface, but something is very deeply emotional for you. It feels like you're hoping for something or manifesting something, possibly. We do have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, so maybe somebody you're not talking to, could be maybe you're getting breadcrumbed by someone. Maybe you keep reaching out to them and they don't reach back. It feels like a little bit of a delay. I don't think it's really anybody who doesn't want to talk to you. It feels like the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles, which is just a delay in them returning your text, returning your email. It feels like somebody here is really being very careful with the words they use. They're very careful with how they explain themselves. They see you as a little bit aloof. I'm just going to say the reason that they're being so careful is they see you as somebody that they have to be careful with. I want to say this, like, it feels like this Scorpio energy here. It feels like you're scanning somebody. Do you have Scorpio energy? I don't know if you all know what I'm talking about, but we have the Scorpio stare, and we also have Scorpios who scan, right? Like, who scan you for information. I'm going to say that you're one of these people, Aries, that scans other people for information. It feels like you can read body language or something like that. It does feel like somebody's pulled back their energy and it's being very quiet. It feels like they're not answering you in a timely fashion. It feels like you're very held back, like you hold back your emotions. But it does feel like you're very hopeful, wishful that somebody here is going to get back to you. We've got the Queen of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Devil energy here. Someone feels like you're sharp with your words. And then we have the Fool. It feels like somebody here feels as though you're sharp with your words and that you don't really, it doesn't really matter to you how it comes out. That's what it feels like. That you're just going to be honest with people. And I am not an advocate for that. I am very much an advocate for that, as long as you're not offending people and hurting feelings. But look, when the Queen of Swords is in the reverse, it feels like you're also watching your words, or that maybe they're watching their words because they feel that you're easily provoked. So it does feel like a person, I'm going to say. It does feel like somebody you might have deep compassion for or a deep feeling about, because the King of Cups is the first one out here. But when the Devil and the Queen of Swords get together and the Queen of Swords is in the reverse, it does feel like somebody here feels like sometimes your words can be biting. Now, I don't feel like you intend on it being that way, but with the Fool here, it feels like you're very brave with your words. And so listen, I had an email conversation with somebody the other day, and that person said, well, I don't want you to read for me if you're angry. And I said, I haven't been angry in probably 10 years. Like, really, not since my divorce. I don't think I've been angry. And I feel like she probably took it wrong because I'm very Queen of Swords, right? And then I realized, oh, I can't be that honest with everybody. Not everybody likes that kind of truth, right? So I think that's the sort of position you're in right now, Aries. I think you're a truth talker. You're someone who is very truthful. And I think that it might not be that you're doing it, but I feel like your words come off as very sharp to other people because you are a truth talker. Now, I feel like there is something here that you really want to say. Because the Queen of Swords is in the reverse and the Devil's here, it feels like it's something that's going on repetitively. It's an obsessive thought pattern of, I would just tune them in if I could talk to them. It might feel a little bit like that to somebody here, but the Fool energy tells me that you really are looking at maybe speaking to someone about something that's deeply rooted in emotions for you, and maybe that's why it gets a little out of hand. But I feel like somebody here is going to answer you, but they're holding back because maybe they just aren't a person who appreciates the truth. Yeah, could be someone who allows their feelings to be hurt really easily. We have the Six of Wands. What's this? We've got the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. I feel like you will have this conversation. I feel like you're going to win them back, or you're going to win their trust, or, you know, that things will even themselves out because the Six of Wands is here, and it's usually coming from a hard place and getting the victory. It does feel like you will even things out, or things will become even again. I want to do this. I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles, by the way, as I do that. It feels like that there is going to be a moment where it's going to even out. And I think it's because of your wisdom, King of Wands. It feels like you're somebody who is, you know, you could be somebody who's an entrepreneur, and maybe you're just short for time. Maybe you do all the things, wear all the hats. And I feel like sometimes that maybe you can't take your business hat off. It could be that sometimes you will speak differently to people in business, because people in business are very straightforward with each other. They don't really have time to mince words. You know, we're talking about a contract, we're talking about business. I don't really have time to mince words. And sometimes maybe it's hard for you to take off that hat. We've got the Two of Swords energy here. And the Two of Swords energy tells me to tell you to maybe use your intuition a little bit, because you could be causing blocks. It feels like there's a really tough decision to be made here. And it feels like you're going to have to go within this or that sort of thing. It feels like you do have the wisdom to know in order to be able to get what you need, you got to use more honey than bees. Like, how can I say? No, that's not the saying. It's not the saying at all. That you can get more bees with honey than vinegar. That's what the saying is. So I feel like you're a very straightforward kind of person, and let's get this right. I don't think that you're a person who means to offend. I think that you're a person who's just, look, I'm not beating around the bush, because the King of Wands is here and so is the Devil, and the Queen of Swords is in the reverse. So I feel like you have to make a decision here, but it does feel like you're unwilling to change, or you're like, I'm not changing how I say things. Like, if you're going to be offended, that's up to you. It feels like you're maybe unwilling to change. I'm going to say that this situation, I feel, does even itself out, because the Queen of Pentacles is here, and that's the one who is very, a person who is very solid and grounded, and let's talk it out. They're very diplomatic, right? And I feel like this person has a lot of wisdom as well. So I feel like although they're pulling themselves back at this time, it could be because they're unsure about how you're either going to take the news, how you're going to speak with them accordingly. But I do feel, whether this is romantic or platonic, look, it could be romantic from your view, but if it's platonic, it does feel like it is somebody who has been giving you one-word answers, or really hasn't been answering the questions that you're giving them. Maybe they're putting off answering the email or the text. It feels like that. Tell me what the outcome is here for Aries. We've got the Strength card, yeah. Oh, okay. The Strength card, we've got the Page of Swords, right? And then we've got the Four of Cups. So there is somebody who definitely is holding back. It feels like this person is observing you. That's what it feels like. Somebody here is observing you. Look, this could be flip-flop. Take it as it is. It's a general reading, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I feel like somebody here is watching you, holding back, strength card, trying to find the courage to come forward and be very specific. Look, I think it's a queen dealing with a page. It feels like and even if they're two adults, right, it could be two different levels of understanding. Maybe one person isn't quite into being as honest as you are. It feels like somebody's trying to decode you. Like someone's trying to, it's almost like they're treating you like you're like a bomb ready to go off. So I don't know where that energy is coming from, whether it's you or them. They see you as sort of mysterious. Somebody who really doesn't show what's going on the surface. And so I think that they're confusing that with the fact that maybe you are a little bit aggressive with your words when you finally do come forward with your words. It's like a slingshot effect, right? Holding back, and then boom. And so that's what it feels like. So I feel like the outcome is telling me that there is somebody here that is going to come out of their comfort zone, but first they're going to observe you and figure out what's going on and how to deal with you. It feels like they feel they have to feel courageous because the strength card is here. This could be a friendship. This could be a workplace thing, right? It feels like somebody feels as though you are someone who is going to be, they're just probably not ready for the truth. Look, I'm a person who's a person of honesty. You guys know, I just say it like it is. And so I feel like, sometimes we got to fine tune that to speak to the ones who just aren't ready to hear it yet. That's what it feels like. Around the corner, we've got the Three of Pentacles, got the King of Swords, and we've got the Knight of Swords. Yeah, so somebody just feels like you just say it without regard of who's in the room. Or the thing is I feel like you say the truth, but I feel like somebody here doesn't like that. The Three of Pentacles is here. So it feels like it is either somebody who's in your network of people, somebody who's at your workplace, because the Knight of Swords is Gemini energy. And I don't know if you know any Geminis, but Geminis will just say it. And they don't say it crassly usually, but they will say it regardless of how you feel about the situation they're speaking of. And the King of Swords is here, which makes it a little bit harsh. It's not sugar-coated. It's just like, I told you to be here 10 minutes ago. I hope that won't happen again. And sometimes that can be looked at as professional, and sometimes that can be looked at as scolding. So I feel like somebody here feels as though you are in this little bit of scolding energy, and they feel a little bit scolded when they speak with you. So I think that this person is observing you from a distance in a comfortable place, and they don't want to, I think that this Four of Cups also feels like that when they see you in a social area, or a social space, you're very different. So I think this might be at work, or this might be someone that has to do with like a partnership or somebody you're doing business with, because somebody here feels like you're quite different when you're in a social setting, and you're very different when you're dealing with business. So that's what it feels like here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Two of Cups. So somebody here doesn't want to have a good outcome. Somebody here is trying to get closer to you, I'm going to say. Someone's plan here is to try and get closer to you. So things can feel a little softer. Somebody here is not used to the harsh delivery. We do have the Nine of Pentacles. It does feel like it has to do with business. So, or a place that you work. It could be somebody who's in your life. I don't know. Tell me what it is. Tell me how it is. All right. Let's find out what signs we've got here. We've got Libra and Gemini and Aquarius. Literally, they came out of the deck like that. We've got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. We've got Leo, more Leo, Aries. We've got Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I said that already. And Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. Look, all the energies are here. So how they come out during the reading is what matters, right? All right. Let's find out what is going on for Taurus. How you doing, Bulgay? I hope you're well. Thanks so much for clicking here. Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days, Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Taurus. Tell me about Taurus. We've got, the Empress has come out first. All right. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, it didn't drop. Just going to put them back in the deck. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles is here. We've got the Three of Pentacles. And we've got the Six of Wands. it feels like a long journey is about to come to an end. So I've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, I have a lot of decks. Somebody in the comments once mentioned, oh, it looks like a little library, because it kind of is, right? But this particular Knight of Pentacles, tells me that you've been on a really long journey. And so I'm going to say that because the Empress energy was the first energy out, it feels like maybe you've been single for a long time, or that there's you've been waiting a long time to start a new chapter of your life or create something, create a new beginning. Maybe you're somebody who's pregnant. I'll just say that because the Empress on this card is pregnant, but it's not always pregnant with a child, right? Sometimes it's pregnant with a new beginning, pregnant with a new creative idea. So I feel like this Knight of Pentacles, though, is telling me that this has been a really long journey, but that no matter how tough the journey got, Taurus, this is your story, right? No matter how tough the journey got, you didn't sit down. I feel like it was I don't really care if I get to the outcome. I just really need to learn the lessons that are coming at me. And I think that's a very practical way to put it. That's Virgo energy, right? The Knight of Pentacles. And Virgo is not really missing any of the details. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. Now, I feel like because it's partnership, right? It's the Three of Pentacles isn't loveship. It's partnership, it's work, it's network, it's finding someone who will cooperate and collaborate with me. I do feel that you will find that person because the Six of Wands tells me you're about to get a lot of attention. This does feel like I'm speaking to someone who's like, okay, well, I've got a really good friend group. How come nobody's introducing me to their friends? Like it feels like that. I feel like you've got a really good group of people around you, Taurus, probably, whether it's just 2 or 3, they're supportive. I feel like you are probably about to meet someone. And I'm going to say this all comes with the outcome. Everybody wants to know how they can get the shortcut to the end result. And I would say that probably you've been on this journey for years. Like it feels like you had to get to the Empress energy first to understand why it's so important to get to to pay more attention to the journey than it is about getting the reward of the outcome. Because look, as you go through the journey, sometimes the outcome you wanted, you change your mind because you learn different things and become more aware. So sometimes the outcome doesn't necessarily become the thing that you want anymore. We have the King of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Cups. It feels like you've had to navigate a lot of very deeply emotional situations. I feel as though feel like emotions are the obstacle that has held you back along the path. So I'm going to say along the journey that maybe finding this relationship that crashed and burned and that relationship that crashed and burned, it feels like that was the delay on the path, that possibly you were more focused on finding love than you were on learning lessons. So I feel like the King of Pentacles is telling me that you've grown from that. And now you're getting really good at knowing how to observe an obstacle in the distance, right? You can see there's a mountain or something in the distance, and you now know how to navigate, I'm going to say. It feels as though you've grown in wisdom in terms of your pentacle world and how to navigate through your pentacle world. But I was talking about emotions because the Queen of Cups is here. So I feel like you've learned how to navigate things in your emotional world. And I think that the crash and burn lessons, like the relationships that didn't work, they were all building you to be the Empress. Because at some point we all realize that people show up in our lives just to teach us lessons. And if all we end up learning is that we hate people for doing us wrong, then we haven't learned anything. But I think you have. If this is resonating with you, and if it's not, that's fine. Click off. But I feel like somebody here has realized that even the relationships that have not worked, even though if they were family lessons or friendship or love lessons, they were emotional. And I feel like it grew you. It grew you into the Empress energy. You did it all by yourself, and it was tough because this is Pentacles. It's 3D stuff. So when we talk about the Queen of Cups, we talk about compassion and love and kindness. And when we talk about the King of Pentacles, we talk about the wisdom to know how to grow, being very serious about being organized and learning how to navigate the 3D. And I feel like for you, it's been a real long journey of you trying to navigate the 3D in terms of emotions. So that would be whoever you end up connected to emotionally, whether those are romantic connections or platonic connections. But I want to say that no matter what happened, if all you learned was, I don't like that person and I hate them, then that's not the lesson. And those lessons come back until you do learn them. We've got the Four of Swords, we've got the Queen of Wands, and we got the Ten of Cups. Towards the Four of Swords is healing, right? It's quite healing. It's also stability of the mind. Fours are always about stability. And it feels as though this particular person is in the boat, very stable in the boat, but also has a bow in their hand and is putting an arrow in that bow. So it feels like you're almost at the point now where you're ready to take another shot at it, possibly. But listen, the next card out is the Queen of Wands. And the card after that is the Ten of Cups. I feel like you will be successful in finding your joy because you're resilient. And whether or not you fell down 6 times and got up 7, that's really important though, right? I feel like you became resilient. You learned how to be independent. You learned how to go get what you want. Even if you thought it wasn't going to work, you went anyway. I feel like you've become really resilient. So I'm going to say you didn't deserve any of that. You didn't deserve any of it, but it was all necessary to build you to where you are, which is the Empress energy, because the Empress is built through wisdom. You don't just get to be the Empress because you're a Libra or a Taurus. All right, that just indicates Venusian energy, right? The Wheel of Fortune's here. Look, I really do feel that everything is changing for you. Everything is changing for you. I think things are about to expand, and things are changing for you, Taurus, in a very happy way. Because destiny is here. I'm bringing you the Ten of Cups, understand? So although I feel like you've been on a really long, tough journey, you never gave up. I know that because the Knight of Pentacles is here with the Queen of Wands. You're very resilient. And I feel like you will get the victory in the thing that you want. But the Six of Wands being here as the victory and being held up by friends or being noticed in the spotlight is next to the Wheel of Fortune. So the victory only comes when destiny shows up. It wasn't time. It was time for you to back there to learn the lessons. And I know you don't like to hear it, but when you get on this side of it, you realize that you're grateful even for the people that maybe it crashed and burned with them, but they taught you a valuable lesson that you'll never get yourself into again. The outcome is the Two of Pentacles. It brings you to a great place of stability. Oh, look, the Fool is on the bottom of the deck, but look at this. We've got the Two of Pentacles, we've got the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Two of Swords. So look, I'm going to say you're making better decisions. And when you say no, you mean it. Two of Swords. No. No, I got boundaries. No, thank you. It feels like the Knight of Cups being now emotional energy, you are no longer falling in love with potential. Somebody's got to prove it to you. That's what it feels like. And the Two of Pentacles being here is because I've got my balance and I will not allow you to rock my balance. And the reason that you see them coming is because of the people who taught you the lesson. We've got the Fool here. Fool, let's bring up the 10 Pentacles. Look, you're about to hit a new cycle, friend. The Wheel of Fortune is here and it's not playing. I feel like you're about to hit a really good cycle here. And it's going to make you very emotional. The King of Cups is in the reverse. It's going to make you very emotional because I feel somebody here that you haven't seen for a while is coming back round. Or a situation or something that maybe taught you a lesson and you weren't aware you were being taught the lesson. And as you look back, as it comes back to you now, you're like, oh, that's what that all was about. So it feels like that. It also feels like, because I just saw the Page of Wands underneath the Judgment card, Taurus, it feels like there could be somebody coming back who, and I think, if you know when Mercury retrograde is, maybe you want to put it in the comments, but Mercury retrograde is coming up, I think it's the end of the month, 29th or something. So it could be somebody who is coming back. Yeah, you should probably go watch your favorite astrologer. They're going to tell you, but It feels like something is going to be coming back around here. If you're more into astrology than tarot. The Four of Pentacles is here with the Nine of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Right? It feels like you were holding on to something that you felt that wasn't yours. The Nine of Swords is here. You worried about it. You held on to it too tight. And the Five of Pentacles resulted. The Five of Pentacles is you got pushed to the outside looking in. I feel like you were forcing destiny. What you didn't realize is that it's not that you couldn't have it. It's just that it wasn't the right time. So maybe you don't want it when it comes back. Because that's what I said. That's why the journey is so damn important, right? The journey is so, so very important because maybe by the time it comes back, we don't want what we wanted in the first place. Maybe we want to be on a different path, and then we look at it and we look at it differently. The Ace of Pentacles being here, we look at it differently and we're like, oh, I didn't want that anyway. Ooh, like, what was I thinking? Could be that. So I think you are going to see somebody, and maybe you want them back in your life. Maybe you don't, but I think you're going to see them with different eyes because the Judgment card is here. You've been through a lot. And that might be just on the tail of Uranus shaking up your life for so long, right? We've got Sagittarius energy. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. We've got Piscean energy, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. We've got Aquarius energy and Gemini. We've got, well, let's just say Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We got a lot of pentacles here, and the king is here. We've got Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, and Libra. All right. The lessons are always going to come, right? And how you perceive the lessons is totally up to you. Yep, you'll terrorize yourself, or you'll just let it go with the flow. All right, Gemini, here we are. What's the date today, Gemini? What is the date today? Oh, we're just on the cusp of the season, right? And so soon we will be out of Gemini season and into Cancer season. So you, my friend, could be a cuspy, right? Gemini, Cancer, cuspy, possibly. Let's find out what's going on for Gemini. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter for the next 7 days. Thank you for the beautiful season, by the way. Oh, all right. There you go. End of the season. It's time to change. Something here is transforming, my friend. Maybe something you learned this Gemini season has changed you. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. Look, when I see Pentacles up against the Death card at any time, it feels to me like your money situation is changing. I feel like if you're somebody who's been working really hard, I don't know if you can see that. I'm kind of far away from the camera today. I'm trying to let you guys see more of the table. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles, and I feel like something that you've really been working hard at is about to pay off, because when I see the Death card next to Pentacles, it feels like your money's getting bigger, and the fact that it's a 7 and not the 2 is great. I'm going to say it does feel like you're exhausted from working so hard. I'm going to say that the payoff is coming. It feels like it's pretty close, and something here is you've been nurturing is about to transform. So you've been planting, and all of a sudden you go back and you start to see the little buds coming out of the ground. Wow. The Wheel of Fortune just showed up, friend. You're not going to have to work as hard as usual. So I'm going to say that somebody is, if this is a work thing, it feels like it is that you're getting the raise, or you're getting the promotion, or maybe you're waiting for a job. Something here is going to change your financial status. That's what it looks like, because the Wheel of Fortune being here also tells me that it is destiny for that to happen. So something here is expanding, and it's next to the Seven of Pentacles. So it feels like it's expanding your finances. Or if you have a business, it could be expanding your business. We've got the Queen of Cups. It almost feels like somebody takes compassion on you. So it feels like it could be a raise at work. It doesn't have to be, of course, but it feels like somebody who's compassionate, kind, and loving is about to show up and tell you that there is going to be some sort of a transformation. Look, maybe the transformation of finances looks like they're giving you a free month of rent. Or, oh, we made a mistake. We took two mortgage payments back there. You didn't recognize that, and we're putting it back in your account. It feels like there is something here. Somebody's taking compassion on you. And I feel like that's the way it is going to go from here forward for a little bit, because the Wheel of Fortune is here. We've got the Four of Cups. I think somebody here has been resisting change or ignoring it or something like that, because the Four of Cups can be rejection. The Taurus wasn't having it. Yeah, I feel like you felt if you looked the other way, then things would stay the same. Just leave me alone. If I just look the other way, then things will stay the same. But look, the Tower shows up. We've got the Four of Cups, the Tower, and the Death card all touching each other. You guys know that's how I read. If you've been here before, that's how I read. Things that touch each other lend energies to each other. And so I feel like something shifts here. Something is going to surprisingly shift, and it's going to be a positive shift, by the way. People get weirded out about the Tower, but the Tower is in itself, yes, it could be an implosion or a shift or something you're not expecting, but it's always read with the cards around it. Now I have the Four of Cups on one side, and I have the King of Cups on the other. So I'm going to say something you were rejected from, like maybe you were rejected from the mortgage, or something that you had felt rejected over is about to switch up. I think you're going to be surprised, and I think you're going to be emotionally excited, but I think you're not going to show it on the surface. Somebody here's taking compassion on how hard you've been working, so that might be part of it as well. Tell me more about Gemini. We've got the Four of Pentacles. I think you were really holding onto something here really tightly, and it feels like it's your emotions, because this Four of Pentacles has come up under the King of Cups, so it feels like you were holding back your emotions. Like, I didn't want to show anybody how much I was really wanting this and hoping for it. That's the Star. I didn't want to let everybody see my vulnerability. It feels like you were trying to hold your vulnerability underneath the surface here. You were trying to hold back. Look, the Ten of Cups is here. Wow. So I feel like the Wheel of Fortune's here with the Ten of Cups. You're going to be really happy with some sort of transformation. But I think that you have been holding back with the change. Like, it feels like you're trying to avoid the change. Like with the Four of Cups here, with the Death card, it's like, if I look the other way, maybe this won't end. If something is coming to an end in your life because of a Tower, I feel like where you came from, where you're going to, is way better than where you came from, but I don't think that you realize that right now, because you may not have gone through the Tower yet. It feels like you were avoiding change. So maybe you're avoiding applying for the job outside of your job. Maybe you were avoiding quitting the job. It feels like somebody here was avoiding something. I feel like whatever you've been manifesting, you were holding back doing something, and I think that finally the Tower comes through, gives you the push and says, look, Gemini, it's right there. That thing you wanted, and you're putting it off. Yeah, I think you were in this Eight of Cups energy here. You were like, you know what, I hope for it, but I'm not going to put my heart into it. I'm not going to put all of my emotions into it. I'm just going to detach from the situation and hold on to hope, right? Which is the Four of Pentacles and the Star. I'm going to hold on to the hope that someone will take compassion on me. And that's exactly what happens here. Tell me more about the outcome for Gemini. We've got the Five of Wands. So you were in competition for something. So I don't know if it's a house, a mortgage, maybe a job, but the Judgment card is here. So I'm going to say, if you've applied for a job before that you didn't get before, and you've reapplied for that job, or you're holding back from reapplying, I feel like you are somebody who is probably going to be one of the major candidates this time around, because the Judgment comes round and asks you, are you ready? Are you ready to do it yet? I said that at 33. So are you ready to do it yet? Have you learned enough lessons that you will see this as an opportunity? So I feel like the opportunity is for you to throw your hat in the ring. Five of Wands is the battle or the competition. And I feel like something is coming back around for you to apply yourself to. It's going to change your financial situation if you can find the courage to take a chance here. So the Seven of Cups, you can see that person is the Two of Cups, and then the Five is above their head. Will I regret it or will I not? Will I deepen my bond with whatever it is that I want? Will it make me happy? Will they give me the same energy I give them? I think the Queen of Cups answers that question. Somebody is going to take compassion on you, and it feels like something here is going to work out in your favor. Tell me what is around the corner for Gemini. we've got the Eight of Wands. It's coming fast, friend. You're about to get a call, communication, and of course, if you haven't applied for the job, if you haven't asked somebody about something, I'm not talking about you, right? So this reading does not resonate. It's because I'm not reading about you. We've got the Nine of Wands. And we've got, what's this? Ah, there we go. The Knight of Swords. Yes, so I feel like the Eight of Wands tells me you've been ready. You've been ready to go, but the Nine of Wands tells me that you're starting to lose hope, that maybe you should just release this and let it go. And just as you're ready to give up whatever I'm talking about, the Knight of Swords shows up with the communication. So it feels like somebody just blurts it out, says it. It's aggressive communication. Feels like it's coming at you quick. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So I feel like this is a really exciting new beginning, but I don't think you're seeing it as that. The Wheel of Fortune and the Death card are trying to get you to accept the change and go for it. Because the Judgment card is here with the Five of Wands saying, yeah, there's a lot of competition, but, you know, it could be your time. So I feel like the Tower is going to get involved and is going to shock you or shift something here. We've got Gemini energy. We've got Pisces a couple of times. We've got Aquarius and Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. We've got Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Sagittarius energy. Something's expanding, my friend, and I think it's your finances. We've got the Tower is Scorpio, and then we have Cancer energy, more Pisces energy, Virgo and Pisces. We've got more Scorpio energy, Virgo, and Sagittarian energy. All right. And we're just knocking on the door of Cancer season. How are you? How are you, Cancer? I hope you're well. I'm here to read for you for the next 7 days. I hope you're doing good. Let's find out what's going on for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Cancer. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, Cancer. Feels like you've been working really hard on something to the point of exhaustion, but it feels like you've been very carefully curating something, working on something. We've got the Temperance card here. Look, your work's about to pay off. When the moment of alchemy shows up, it's because everything is in the right place for you to thrive on whatever it is that you're thriving on. Something, I feel like your finances are healing, or you're going to see the benefits of doing all the overtime, or maybe it's just your garden is growing. That's what it feels like here. We've got, oh, the Judgment card. I like it. Queen of Pentacles is here. There's a financial opportunity coming back around for you, Cancer, that I think that you thought you missed the first time. That's what it feels like. It feels like there is a big financial opportunity showing up for you, or a job. Like the Queen of Pentacles is here, right? With the Seven of Pentacles, to me, that's, are you ready to work hard? It feels like there is something with the Judgment card that is coming back around that possibly you think because you didn't apply yourself or whatever the situation was, that you missed it the last time it came around. We could be talking about a person, of course, but Temperance tells me the moment of alchemy is here. Now is the right time. Yeah, now is the right time. And so the Judgment card shows up and says, are you ready though? Are you ready to turn and take a completely different path than you had actually planned on? So I think that this Queen of Pentacles is showing up with an offer. It could be a person, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. We've got Sagittarius here along with Virgo and Pisces. But it does feel like whatever it is something that you've really worked toward, something you've been nurturing. We've got the Page of Wands. So that could definitely be communication that is arriving, but also it could be a little bit of spark of excitement. We've got the Three of Wands. And we've got the Queen of Swords. Look, something that you've been hoping for is showing up, dare I say, in the very near future. There is somebody here who speaks with authority. It does feel like somebody that you really do appreciate or admire or have respect for, because the Queen of Swords is here. Now, the Queen of Swords is always going to speak in a very even tone. They're always going to speak in a way that's sort of teaching you something, but with humility, right? This person isn't speaking from ego. They're speaking from truth and honesty. So I feel like you're going to learn some sort of truth in the future. The Three of Wands is here. So whatever's showing up for you is exciting communication. The Queen of Swords is here. Somebody who's going to be very direct with you about your performance, possibly at work, or whatever you've been working on. And it could be that you've been working on paying off debt and getting your finances in order to get a loan or a mortgage or something like that. I feel like whenever you meet up again with the Queen of Pentacles, this person's going to be very honest about either your financial situation, your health. Maybe you're getting good health results after a while of really working on changing your diet, changing whatever. It feels like there is somebody here who has probably, it feels like this person has a very stable, sturdy life. So, you know, I would say that that person is maybe financially well off, which means it could be a money manager or a bank manager or the loans officer or something like that. Or it could be somebody who is a nurse or a doctor. It feels like somebody of authority who's learned a few things is giving you some information you've been waiting for. Oh, this is very, this is very Cancer. We've got the Two of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Swords. First of all, 2 5s are here. When I see more than 1 5 in a reading, you don't have a choice. Something's changing really quickly. So something here is about to change really quickly. Something that you're like, no way, there's no damn way this is going down for me. I might as well give it up. It's not going to happen for me, Elsie. So I feel like the Two of Swords is telling me that you're at the point right now, instead of feeling heartbroken, the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords, that's 3 swords for me. Instead of feeling heartbroken about it, about losing out or feeling disappointed that it didn't become mine, maybe I should just leave it where it is. 5 of Swords is here. It feels like you're fighting yourself. 7 of Swords. Maybe they were lying. Maybe I wasn't the best person for the job, or they're never going to give me the loan and they just tried to sell me something. It feels like the 5 of Cups is here like, it's never going to happen. I regret even beginning the process. But I think you're wrong, because a couple of 5s for me is something is changing quickly. And with Temperance in the reading here, it feels like something is about to change quickly. And it's going to snap you out of it, because I feel right now you're feeling in this sort of hopeless or hopeless energy. You're fighting. It's like you don't want to be hopeful, because it's never worked out before. I've got the 6 of Cups. It hasn't worked out in the past. That's what it feels like. So it's almost like you are, what is the word? That you are trying to manage your expectations. I don't want to be here thinking that something great is happening when it's really not happening. You're trying to manage your expectations. You know that there is a really big decision that's coming up here with the 2 of Swords. And she's got the full moon over her head. You're like this close from letting it go and saying, I'm just not going to wait here for someone to tell me no. But I'm going to say the Queen of Swords is coming in the future. And it feels like it's going to be exciting. And with the 3 of Wands here, with the Page of Wands, that's 4 wands. It could be the mortgage for the house. It could be something that gives you great stability. Whatever this person is about to tell you, whatever honesty they're about to speak. What's in the outcome? Knight of Wands. We've got the 9 of Swords. And we have the Magician. So look, I feel as though when I pulled the Knight of Wands, I was like, yay, it's coming quickly. And then the 9 of Swords showed up and you're like, yeah, right. That's what it feels like. I'm speaking to someone who's quite cynical. I'm going to say the Magician energy is here. Look, you've done all that you can do. You know that you have all the tools and the resources to get whatever you want to get. You know you're creating your own reality. I think you're very aware of all of that. But it's the point by which you had to hand it over to someone else to make the decision about what's going to happen in your life next. And that's the part you don't like. You don't like that you had to hand it over to someone else who makes a decision based on whatever data they have, instead of looking at you and knowing that you're a hard worker, that you really do cultivate things, that you really do apply yourself. And it feels like they're making a decision just based on data. What's around the corner? We've got the Hanged Man. Look, I feel like you have a little bit more time to wait here. But look, the next card out is the Death card. So it feels like the wait is going to be over. Someone is about to get their perspective. They will give you an answer and they will stop holding back. You might have to make a few sacrifices for whatever it is that's coming down the pipeline. I feel like there are going to be things that you are going to have to give up, possibly. The Knight of Cups is here. I really do feel with the Knight of Cups that you're thinking like, what a bloody fantasy if this would ever happen, but I don't know that it will. I'm going to say that the Neptunian energy with the Knight of Cups is sort of dreamy, looking for potential kind of energy. And I think that you try and steer away from that, but you can't help but go off into La La Land and think about how lovely it would be if it were to work out. Look, the Knight of Swords is here. The Knight of Swords is coming at you quickly with communication, and I'm just going to say it. And who else is in your reading? The Queen of Swords, right? So I really do feel like somebody is about to contact you because they're about to, Death card, Hanged Man, get out of this suspension. Like it feels like it feels like your whole next move of your life is depending on this. And so it feels like, I don't know how to move. I'm not really sure how to move until someone finally stops holding back and gives you the answer. It's like a little bit of a slingshot here is what it feels like. The Six of Pentacles, you're going to get reciprocal energy. So whatever you put out there, you are going to get back, my friend. And look at this. I love this. You get to drop your burdens. Look at that. The World card is here. You're ending some sort of a chapter that I don't think you were aware that you were in. And so it feels like you are coming to a milestone or an achievement of some sort. And you're going to be able to put down the 10 wands. The Six of Pentacles is here. Ace of Pentacles is under these cards. So I really do feel like whatever seed you have planted, I feel like it's about to come to bloom. We've got Pisces and Gemini. We've got Scorpio and Aquarius. We've got more Scorpio energy here, and Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Virgo, and Pisces, Gemini, and Aries. We've got Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius here. We've got Sagittarius, more Sagittarius, and then we've got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn again. It's coming. For some of you, it's coming. All right. Let's get to Leo. How you doing, Leo? My fire family, let's find out what's coming up for you in the next 7 days. This is for you if you are Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter, Leo. Let's find out what's going on for you and Jupiter. Is it there already? Is it in Leo? Because if it is, it's on. You're going to have a summer of being noticed, and you know how much you love that. I know how much you love that because my kid's a Leo. All right. Tell me about Leo. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. We've got the Queen of Wands. All right. We've got the Five of Pentacles here. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. And put down these two cards too, because they all fell out of the deck, but we'll read them in a minute. All right, so these first four cards here. So we got the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like someone is here seeing you as being very independent. Now, what I'm going to say is the Queen of Pentacles is here and the Queen of Wands is here. It's halfway to the Empress energy. The Nine of Pentacles confirms that. That's the pre-Empress energy. It feels like you've been building yourself for a while. I'm going to say in the background. Like it almost feels like maybe you stopped really being social, or I don't think you're closing yourself in. I don't think you're a shut-in or anything, but I feel like you have been maybe just not being as vocal or as social as you have been in the past. And I think that as that happened, as you took yourself out of the game, I feel with the Five of Pentacles, it feels as though you don't necessarily notice your growth, but I'm going to say that your growth has come from the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. It feels like you've become far more stable, or you've been, instead of going out and spending a lot of money on going out, maybe you've just been putting that money into your home. It feels like your finances or your time, your effort, your energy, you're very specific about who you're spending that time, effort, and energy with, because those are the real commodities. I mean, money's great, y'all. It affords you a lifestyle that other people could not imagine, but your time here is finite, right? So time, effort, and energy, those are the three things that really give you wealth. And so I feel like you have realized that this is exactly what gives you wealth. So I feel like you have pulled yourself back, or you've been staying home a lot lately. And I feel like the Queen of Wands is telling me that you have decided that you're going to attract instead of chase. And I feel like you've made some sort of independent decision here to be by yourself. The other two cards that fell out of the deck while I was shuffling here are the Page of Cups and the Fool. So it makes me feel as though other people are going to say, wow, you look great. Like, it feels like you are probably, with the Fool card, you probably are going to get some sort of invitation to do something that is sort of, I'm going to say, out of your realm. So maybe if somebody invites you to a birthday party and you're not a person who goes to a birthday party. Maybe someone invites you to a cookout and you're not a person who does the cookout. It feels like somebody's going to invite you into something that you're going to have to take a leap into, but it's going to be a surprise. It feels like it's not something you're expecting. It feels like it is something that you are probably going to say yes to because it's good news. The Page of Cups is here. But I feel like this Nine of Pentacles tells me that everybody's going to see you in a very different light than they saw you before you left, before you pulled back your energy. And then we have the Six of Wands. Yeah, I think everybody's going to be like, wait, what? Is that Leo? Really? Like, it feels like you've changed. And I don't think you've realized you've changed, because I feel like you've been pulling your energy back from people, places, and situations. And in that, I feel like something has changed within you, that you have decided not to chase, but to attract. I feel like you come out as a more stable you. We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, that's self-mastery. Bravo to you. So you've been really working on yourself. The Eight of Cups is here whilst you've been detached. That's what it feels like. So the Seven of Wands tells me you've been learning a lot of things, right? I'm kind of excited for you, actually. You've been learning a lot of things. So while you've been attached, and I think it's while you've been detached, and I don't think it's because of any other reason other than that you've created some pretty tough boundaries, right? We've got the Seven of Wands here. I feel like you've created some pretty tough boundaries, and you felt like it was time to start protecting the things that were important to you. Time, effort, and energy. Could be money too, right? But it feels like you have realized that in order to be able to work on myself, I can't do that while I'm around people who disagree with how I'm working on myself. That's what it feels like here. So I feel as though you are going to get some sort of invitation, and the invitation is going to ask you to come out. I think the Six of Wands is telling me people are like coming around and saying, like, maybe you've dumped a lot of weight. Maybe you've gained a lot of muscle. Like, I don't know what it is, but maybe you've changed from the outside and the inside, or you've changed the inside and now it looks different on the outside. And then we have the Three of Swords. Yeah. So you might have been trying to bounce back from a heartache or a heartbreak, or maybe life just wasn't going good and it was just disappointing you. You just didn't feel that there was any point in being in a big group of people any longer. So I don't think that you were saying to people, no, I don't like you, I'm not coming out. But I think you just slowly drifted back. And maybe you were waiting for someone to come water the plants, right? So I've talked about that before. Maybe you were waiting for someone to come water the plants, and when nobody did, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm tending my own garden. If nobody cares if you're around or not, then I feel like you just pull back and say, fine, you don't care if I'm here or not. I feel like somebody does invite you out and you go, but I feel like the Three of Swords is here with the Seven of Wands. It feels like people who have disappointed you, people who have heartbroken you, broken your heart. It feels like that you have put up these boundaries. And so now you're going out as a different person, truthfully, because when you have boundaries, you just won't pay attention to the shit that you see coming at you. Whereas by you, maybe in the past, it was very enticing to you. You just don't care about it anymore. And that's what it feels like. So you really have changed the way you look at things in the 3D. Tell me what the outcome is for Leo. We've got the Justice card. We've got, the Ace of Swords. And we have the Six of Pentacles. It does feel like I'm going to say that you're really in the most attractive energy that you've been in, because the Queen of Wands is here. And then with the Justice card and the Ace of Swords, it's almost like you're justified now by people sort of coming at you, because the Six of Wands is here and everybody's attracted to you. It feels like you get a lot of attention all at once. And it feels with the Ace of Swords, you're going to tune them in. You're going to be very clear with what you allow, what you don't allow, whether that's with your energy or your words. And the Six of Pentacles is here. You're going to choose who you give your external energy to, because what are the commodities? Time, effort, energy, right? So you're really being very careful, Ace of Swords, about who you're giving your energy to. And you're justified in doing that, because now you're here to keep your balance. You don't really care whether people like that of you or not. But now that you've grown something all by yourself, and sorry, for those of you who are sensitive, I've got allergies. For those of you who are the people who have been working on yourself, it really does feel like you are showing up to some sort of gathering and people are like, really? Is that Leo? I haven't seen Leo in forever. We have the Judgment card and the Five of Swords and the Ace, sorry, not the Ace, but the Page of Swords. So herein lies the issue, right? Judgment is, are you going to go? Because it's going to show up for you. And it may have showed up for you before and you said no. Are you going to go? Because this is going to take you on a very different path from the path that you've been on before. The Five of Swords is here. You're fighting yourself. It's like a mental problem. It's a mental exercise. Do I really want to go or do I not? Now, the Judgment showing up here says that something's about to change. You're being called to make a decision that is going to actually change your path. The Page of Swords is here. You start doing a little bit of recon, I think. Who's going to be there? Maybe you're asking, who's going to be there? What's this for? This is a birthday party? Is it just to get together? People just getting together to get wrecked and be silly? Like, what's going on? I feel like you start digging for information, trying to realize exactly why they're inviting you. Six of Swords, the Five of Swords is here with the Page. Should I just not go to the chaos and just keep moving on to the calmer place? The Eight of Swords is here. So by the end of this reading, I don't think that you've really made the decision yet. Either way, though, the Nine of Cups is here. I feel like this is why you're not making an immediate decision, because your peace, your happiness, your alignment, that's the most important thing to you. And you can just see this guy's got his feet up on the desk. I'm going to say that's very Leo. No, I can't go. I'm really, really busy. And then that's where you are. You just got your feet up on the desk doing whatever you want. Three of Wands is in the reverse, and then the Ten of Wands. Somebody wants your immediate answer, friend. They want you to answer now, and you never do that. Never do that to a fixed sign. And then the Emperor's here. So I feel like it's all up to you, friend. You're the one in charge. You're the one in charge in deciding what to do. The answer is yours. You are in charge of all of it. And look, the Emperor is going to make decisions based on what is best for the Empire. Your Empire, right? Not necessarily what's best for the one, but what's best for the many. And you get to make the decisions. So we've got Capricorn. We've got Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. We've got Gemini and Libra. We've got Pisces and Virgo. We've got Virgo and Pisces again. We've got Aries, Libra, Cancer, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. All right. Virgo. How you doing, Virgo? My Earth cousins. Let's find out what's going on for Virgo. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Virgo. The next 7 days, Virgo. Tell me about Virgo. Got the Ten of Swords, Virgo. What's this? Four of Swords. Feels like you're trying to heal in order to let something go. You're trying to release something. It could be betrayal or sadness or hurt. I'm going to say, yeah, Charlie just said there's just nothing left to say. And I'm just, the way I'm looking at this card, there is a a sword on its side at the bottom of the card. Whenever I see a Four of Swords with the, and not all of them have the same depictions, right? So whenever I see a Four of Swords with that sword laying sideways, it's like we're not talking, or there's just nothing left to say. There's no communication, or I really don't know what to say. So that's what it feels like here. Tell me more. The Judgment card is here. I feel like just releasing it or letting it go. This is a very significant time in your life, Virgo, because I feel like there was something really devastating that happened to you. And it feels like it's a betrayal, or somebody hurt you. It feels like a lie that was told. It feels like something really broke you, devastated you, broke your heart, right? And it's like, I don't even have anything left to say. It feels like you go silent. The Judgment card is here. It tells me that something had to die, or Ten of Swords, in order for something to be reborn. Judgment, right? Tell me more. We've got the Devil card here. Yeah. I think that whatever happened really made you feel very vulnerable. It wasn't your decision. I think it was somebody that did it to you. And when I say that, I mean, like, if it's just a relationship we're talking about, someone broke up with you. It's like you weren't able to make a decision. It just happened. Ten of Swords is something that just comes to its natural end. Do you know what I mean? Tell me about the Ten of Swords. Look, I don't think what you don't see here is I feel it, the Sun and the King of Wands is here. You're going to gain wisdom from this. This is one of those karmic lesson things. Whatever the situation was, it feels like it brings a breakthrough of wisdom for you. That you now see things as they are, not as you wanted them to be. And it does bring you to this place of wisdom and action. I think the realization is, I probably should have taken action. And I don't think that you did. Because you're loyal, I think you waited around to see what would happen next. Yeah, it does feel like rejection. We got the Four of Cups here. So it feels like either someone rejected you, or you rejected a thought pattern. It feels like, quite honestly, that it was rejection. But with the King of Wands here, it almost feels like you already knew. Like there was a wisdom. You saw the actions of somebody else in the sunlight. I think that you saw it happening. It's kind of like when somebody's being cheated on and you look back after you've been cheated on, you're like, oh yeah, I should have known. I should have noticed those little things and I didn't. There's no reason to hate on yourself for it, but I feel like, the sun comes out with the King of Wands and the wisdom shows up and you're like, yeah, I should have taken action back there and I didn't. So I do feel that you are healing from something. I feel that you just don't have anything left to say. The Judgment card is here, sweetheart, and I feel I want to call you sweetheart because I'm sorry that you've gone through whatever this is. The Judgment card is here, and it feels like this had to show up for you again and again and again until you could see it under the sun. And this feels like it's a repetitive thing because the Devil is here with the Judgment card. It feels like it kept showing up over and over and over again. And I'm going to say that this Ten of Swords is almost, I know it's painful and terrible and you had to go through it, but it almost feels like it finally released you. So I don't think it really is a rejection. I think it's a release. Yeah. We've got the Eight of Cups, we've got the Five of Cups, and we've got the Seven of Swords. It feels like you do walk away from somebody because the realization is here that they were a liar or a cheater or something like that. And I don't often see the Seven of Swords as that. I usually see it as concealment, but when the cards come up around it, they do, right? And I've got the Eight of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. And that to me is like, it's regret that I didn't walk away sooner, that I just didn't detach and walk away from it because it wasn't serving me anyway. Like I feel like you were in an Eight of Cups relationship, an Eight of Cups marriage, an Eight of Cups job or career, and it feels like I wasn't really the happiest I could be there anyway. I was just settling for it. And then we find out that, look, after all of this pain and sadness, that there is happiness out there. Things work out the way they do. And I know sometimes I harp on it, but things work out the way they do because you weren't supposed to have this. You were supposed to have the 10 of Cups. And this wasn't your 10 of Cups. This was your 8 of Cups. And when the 8 and the 10 are on the table, what's left? The 2. That's the difference between the two. So you were supposed to find true love, or find a bonded friendship, or a bonded relationship, or a place where you could work, that you could share secrets and people wouldn't hold it against you. It feels like that this happened the way that it did because I feel like you saw it was happening, and it's like a train coming at you, right? You see it happening and you only have a few seconds to make a decision, and I feel like you stepped out of the way of the train every time and you just let it go by instead of asking, why does this train keep coming here every time I'm trying to cross the tracks? Like, it feels like you stopped investigating it. We've got in the outcome the Hanged Man. We've got the Knight of Cups and the Page of Wands. And so somebody here, I feel, was holding back their emotions, or holding back their romance, or holding back their love. And I feel like it was slowly happening to a point where you didn't notice it. It's like the frog in the pot, and you turn up the water and the frog never realizes that the water's getting warmer and warmer until it's too late. And it feels like with the Hanged Man, like what was in a pause is the Knight of Cups. Somebody started pulling back their emotions, or they weren't as affectionate with you as they were usually if this is a relationship for you. The Page of Wands is like, it's the spark. Okay, I get it. Now that you look back, though, now that you look back there, you're like, oh yeah, that's why that went down. That's why that happened. Tell me what's around the corner for Virgo. We've got the Hierophant, the Queen of Wands, and the 9 of Pentacles. Look, I feel like you're just standing on business. I feel like you're never going to go back there. It feels like you do detach from this finally and heal from it, and you're never going to go back there. I really do feel like this was a lesson to level you up, to listen to the higher self with the Hierophant here, and to teach you to stand on business. When you see it, act on it. Maya Angelou, right, taught us that from kids. If you're my age, I'm 58, so if you're from my age, Maya Angelou, she always taught us, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I think that you didn't want to believe who this person was. So ultimately, I feel like with the Queen of Wands here and the 9 of Pentacles, that you do become single. You end up working on yourself, my friend, but I think this all happens so fast that you didn't realize it was happening. It was happening in real time, but maybe it was happening so slowly that you didn't realize it until the final moments when the Knight of Wands showed up, and then you realized that somebody was here for a short time, not a long time. They were here for a good time, right? Somebody who is quite unstable with money, quite unstable with, it's like, 2020, right, is always great after the fact. And I feel like this is probably after the fact, when you realize that person wasn't giving you any of the stability you required, wanted, or needed anyway. It feels like a realization after coming out of Hermit energy. And now I feel like you are more in alignment with who you are. The 9 of Cups is here since you've come out of Hermit energy. Look, the 10 of Pentacles is coming up for you in the future. Something great is coming up, and you weren't supposed to be here. That's why it ended. It wasn't anything you did wrong. It is nothing to be blamed on you. People are jerks and they do what they're going to do. Let them get their karma. Let them go off and get their karma. You don't want to be attached to that when karma comes in for them. We've got Sagittarius and Pisces energy. We've got Aquarius, more Pisces energy. We've got Virgo, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and Taurus. We've got Leo again, Cancer, Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo, and Pisces. We've got more Pisces energy. A lot of Pisces energy here. So I feel like this has taught you to listen to your intuition, Virgo. Because I think you knew it. All right, Libra. How you doing, friends? Let's find out what's going on for you in the next 7 days. I am reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs for Libra. Let's find out what's going on for Libra the next 7 days, please, for Libra. Tell me about Libra. Libra, we have the 4 of Pentacles. Why is that? We have the 2 of Swords. Oh, interesting. Libra, are you going to hold back or not? That's what it says. You're making a decision. 2 of Swords. Am I going to hold back? It feels like you've been holding back on making some sort of a decision. because it feels like it's a permanent decision. I'm looking at Capricorn and Libra energy here. So it feels like it's a permanent decision. Should I go with the plan? Because I feel if you go with the plan, you cross a line where you can't go back. That's why I'm asking. It feels like there is a decision here that you've been trying to make, but I don't think that you see it for what it really is. It almost feels like you're trying to listen to your intuition in order to make this decision. We've got the King of Swords. A harsh decision. That's what it feels like with the King of Swords. But a truthful and honest decision. It feels like. I feel like what you're trying to avoid is the Three Swords, because we've got the Two of Swords here with the King of Swords. You're trying to avoid a sword fight. I don't think you want to disappoint anybody. That's why you hold back. Because I feel like when you finally decide to do it, you're going to step forward and go for it. But if I don't commit to anything, then nobody can hold me to anything. I'll just hold back for a moment. But the King of Swords, oh, look at the swords here. And the Page of Swords just showed up. So we've got the Two of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Page of Swords. We got 4 swords. So I feel like you're trying... I think this is the moment before you make the decision. 4 swords tells me you're healing from something, or you're trying to get a clear idea. 4s are stability, and then we have swords, stability of the mind. You're trying to really get clear on what you want, because if you stop holding back, you can see this person has got a pentacle up here. Then you're going to make the offer, and then it's permanent because it's in the 3D. So I think you're really serious about offering something to someone or making a decision of some sort. Let's talk about the 4 of Pentacles. Now I'm going to say that whomever is receiving the opportunity or the offer from you doesn't know it, because I feel like you've been pretty good with playing it quiet. Like you've been holding back, shut down, shut off, not really giving anybody any indication that you're about to make this really important decision. We've got the Page of Cups in the reverse. Interesting. The 8 of Wands. What if I go forward and it doesn't work out for me? Because I feel like the Page of Cups in the reverse is, I just don't want to spring it on them. But it also feels like a last check-in with the intuition. Is this... If you are giving someone an offer of some sort, I don't know if it's romantic or a job or whatever it is, an opportunity to do something with you, it feels like the 8 of Wands is action, velocity. It's going to move forward quickly if I make this decision. Is it a good decision? It's the last check-in with your intuition before you go forward here. The 9 of Swords. I really do feel like there's something that makes you nervous here. It feels like you feel you might get rejected. The 2 of Swords is here. The Page of Cups is here, but it's in the reverse. So maybe you think that when you give the opportunity to someone, they're not going to think it's such a good idea. So, because the Page of Cups in the upright is generally good news, right? Maybe you're going to think that if you do move forward, you're worried, 9 of Swords, that they're not going to see it as good news. So I think that the Page is here because you're really either observing someone from a distance. Should I give it to them? Shouldn't I? How do I think that they would feel? Maybe you're sort of really watching them, watching how they react toward you. We've got the 7 of Cups. We've got the Page of, no, it's not a page, it's a star. I don't know why I said page. It's a star, and then the 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like you have a lot of hope after doing a lot of work on yourself. Like it feels like you're a person who's really into self-mastery. But with the 7 of Cups here, it does feel like you're worried, because 7 of Cups touching the 9 of Swords tells me you're worried that this is an illusion. So I think that you maybe want to ask somebody out, or you want to give them an opportunity to play in your band, or it feels like you want to give somebody an opportunity to do something with you, but this is like the last moment before the decision. You're really observing somebody and wondering if they really want it or not. It feels overwhelming, but maybe you know, it feels like you're as usual, you're trying to intellectualize something that is quite emotional. This is an emotional thing. If it's not for you, it might be for them, or vice versa. But it feels like it's an emotional thing, and you're trying to intellectualize it, because I see the star here that tells me you hope that they see all the hard work that you've put into yourself, or the changes you've made, or how you've grown. And you're not really sure if the offer you're giving them is something that they're going to be happy about. They totally are. Look, the Queen is here. This is somebody who I feel is maybe hiding feelings, not talking about feelings, not telling you how they feel about the situation. Maybe they feel it from you, but we haven't said it in words, and so this person is feeling it. I feel like you're feeling it. It feels like compassion, kindness, love, emotions under the surface. But it feels like, I hope that I'm not just dreaming this. I hope that this is not an illusion, is what it feels like. Because I don't want to have to deal with the heartbreak. The King of Swords, Two of Swords is here, right? Because I feel like you're about to speak your truth and just be very honest about how you're feeling about the situation. But you really hope that they know that this is an opportunity that is... it's like getting picked to, I know I say this a lot, it's like being picked to be in a symphony. Do you know what I mean? It's like an opportunity that doesn't come by a lot. And it's a very prestigious position. For them to be at your side, maybe you're their teacher, to learn, to maybe it feels like you're going to pick somebody that you're going to mentor, date. It feels like it's quite a prestigious position because everybody wants it, but you're ready to pick just one person. What's the outcome here? The outcome is Two of Cups. I think we're talking about some sort of, and the Tower. Okay. And then, the Five of Swords. So look, I think you're fighting the Tower. Yeah. I really feel like this is probably something that's emotionally connected to you. And that's why you're trying to intellectualize it, because, you're a Libra and that's what you do. Unless you have a lot of water placements. But the Two of Cups here tells me that there's somebody here that I feel that you've already shared some stuff with, that you know them kind of intimately. And I don't mean between the sheets. I mean intimacy in emotions, right? That maybe you've had some heavy talks or deep talks. It feels like this Tower energy here is telling me that from the Two of Cups, when you mention this or you give the opportunity, it shifts everything. And I think that's what you're in your head about, because the Five of Swords is here. You know that if you give the opportunity, if you even let on an inkling to this person that you're interested in them, it could shift everything, and you're not sure if you're ready for that. What's that? Charlie just said chum in the water. Oh my gosh. So that tells me that somebody here is knows that the other person is probably going to say yes. You know what it is I think that you're not really sure if you want to put that much hard work into whatever this is, because it's going to be a big job, or you're going to have to keep up with some sort of appearances, or put a lot of hard work into it. And maybe you're just trying to decide whether you have the time. Around the corner, the Emperor, the Ten of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Well, it's up to you, friend. I feel like you're the person who's in charge here. I feel like this person is not going to pursue you because you're the Emperor. The Emperor gets the ick when they're pursued, by the way. The masculine energy, whether you're a man or a woman, the Emperor is masculine. And women have masculine energy too. The Ten of Swords is here next to the Emperor. So this is not like an off-the-cuff opportunity you're giving. This is a decision, because the Emperor doesn't go back and forth and this and that. The Emperor is like, I've been really observing you, and I think you're good enough to be my partner, or be mentored by me, or come into my program, or join my band, or whatever it is. So it feels like the Six of Pentacles here. I do feel that with the Ten of Swords here, you feel like you could be rejected, but the Six of Pentacles tells me you're going to do it anyway. I feel that you feel the other person would be open to it. Queen of Cups is here. Ten of Wands. But either way, you get your answer. You get to release the burden, right? Either way, you get your answer. There's not a whole lot of things that the Emperor fails at. I'm just going to say, if the Emperor is making the decision to do it, it's because the Emperor has checked out every option all the way around, right? Looked at it from all possible options. The Emperor doesn't have a long list of things that they failed to do. We have the Hanged Man. We leave this reading with you still hanging there, wondering, waiting for your perspective. That's why. And I'm all for that. If you're waiting for a perspective from your intuition, that's why you're still silent. That's why you're not saying anything. All right. You're about to make some sort of big decision. Maybe yes, maybe no. We have Sagittarius energy and Taurus. We have Aquarian energy, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, more Aquarius, more Pisces. We have Gemini energy, Aries, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Scorpio, Cancer, Capricorn, and Aquarian energy with Pisces at the bottom of the deck. So when you make the decision to go, that's it. It's a go. Because I think with the Queen of Cups here, somebody here is ready for you. They're just waiting for you to say something. All right. Let's find out what's going on for Scorpio. How you doing, Scorps? I hope you're well. This reading is for you for the next 7 days. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Scorpio, my sister sign. We are opposites, but we are more alike than we like to admit, Scorpio. We, because I'm a Taurus. Tell me about Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Scorpio. We have the Eight of Swords. What's this? We have the Five of Cups. You're undecided as to whether you broke somebody's heart. It feels like somebody here... I'm going because it feels kind of heavy. Like Eight of Swords, Five of Cups feels kind of heavy. It's like you haven't decided, or you're really silent, and you think that that's hurting someone. The Knight of Swords is here. The Page of Wands is here. I feel like you're about to say something to someone. It's been quiet. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's been silent. It's been quiet. We haven't been talking. I think you're in your head about whether or not you have hurt somebody. You feel as if you don't say it, you're going to regret it. I think you want to clear something up. That's what it feels like, because the Knight of Swords is here with the Page of Wands. It feels like, look, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. The next time I see the person, I'm just going to say it because I got to clear up anything that they might be thinking otherwise. You don't want someone to think badly about you. You're in the Eight of Swords, so it feels like you're trying to find the words. I'm not sure what to say. Should I say it now? When should I say it? Tower's here. I feel like the universe is going to let you know when it's time to say it. So I feel like with the Tower being here with the Eight of Swords, it tells me you'll know, because you will have the answer. We've got the Four of Wands, and we've got the Hanged Man. So I feel like you want to say it in a way that's not offensive. I feel like you want to keep this person as a friend, or you want to keep the situation stable. Maybe this person and you are part of a wider group, right? But the Tower tells me something is about to switch up or change, and I don't think you're expecting it. But the first card that came up above the Eight of Swords. So it almost feels like you get clarity. All of a sudden, boom, you get clarity, and that's when you go ahead and say it. And it could be while you're in the presence of this person, because I feel like usually you're in this Hanged Man energy, which is perspective energy, and wondering, what do I sacrifice if I actually do say something? What are we talking about here? So I feel like you want to make things solid and balanced again. We want to get back to our celebratory energy, but I'm not sure when is the right time for me to mention it. Page of Wands. When is the right time for me to say something? But it feels like you think that you've hurt somebody, or that you'll be in regret. If you don't say something, you'll be in emotional regret. We've got the Four of Swords. We've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. So it feels like you really do want to nurture something. And the Four of Swords being here, it feels like you do want to heal something or nurture something. Because I just can't get this out of my mind. It feels like you think you've hurt someone with the Ten of Swords here. It feels like you feel someone has been hurt, and you would like to either nurture the friendship or nurture the situation. It feels like you want to heal it for sure, so it can continue to grow. with the 7 of Pentacles. And then we got the High Priestess. But it feels like right now you're actually quite silent about this. And I think it's because it's almost like you're in this, like, if I say something, will I make it worse? Will I make it worse if I say something? Should I say anything? Should I just let them go ahead and heal by themselves? 7 of Pentacles, though, is nurturing the situation. Your intention was not to hurt them. I'll say that. 7 of Pentacles is intention. Your intention was not just to go silent so they would hurt. That's not your intention. So I feel like you feel it. I'm going to say you feel it from somebody that there's tension, and I don't think you like it. So I feel like that if you'll just be patient, the Tower, something is going to switch up in a situation where you think, okay, now's the time. And that's when the Tower shows up here. To break the illusion, to push the illusion to the ground. And then once we finally get the illusion broken, then we can start building it stronger than it was. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the 5 of Swords. We've got the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse and the 3 of Swords. See, it does feel like we had words. We said things. The 5 of Swords to me is fundamental differences. And so it might be that the reason that you didn't say anything or move ahead because there is something here that we'll never agree on. We're never going to agree on this thing. And so the Knight of Pentacles tells me it's in the reverse, everything stopped. Maybe it's somebody you usually talk to, and then you realize that there was something that was glaringly out of place. And it was something that's really close to your heart. So you know that because this person took such a hard stance on whatever it was, that it feels like I'm not going to say anything else from here because I am going to, if I say something, I am going to break somebody's heart. So I think in the outcome, we leave with you being silent right now and not knowing how to pick up where you left off. I think that you want to sort of get this feeling of how they feel about the 5 of Swords. And I don't think you want to hurt anybody. I don't think that's your intention. You don't intend to hurt anybody with your silence, but I think that you need to find the right words, 4 of Swords. You need to heal whatever's going on within you first before you say something here, so it doesn't cause a Tower. Tell me what's around the corner for Scorpio. Queen of Cups shows up. The Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Cups. This does feel a bit romantic. It could be for some of you. It doesn't have to be for others. It all depends on your discernment, right? You come here with what you're expecting to see. So the Queen of Cups is here. I think that you do want to be as compassionate and kind as you can. The Wheel of Fortune is here, and it looks like destiny is here. So something is about to change. Whatever you say is going to change the situation. And I feel like you know that you've got to say this in the most compassionate way possible. The Knight of Cups is here. So it does feel like there are some underlying feelings, whether that be from them or from you or from both of you. It feels like we've got to, this is sort of a delicate balance, but you're going to know when the time is to finally say something or bring it up with this person, because the World card is here. Sorry, not the World, the Wheel card is here. The Wheel is here with the Tower. So it'll be boom. You'll know. You'll know exactly when destiny is here. Because whatever is about to happen here, whatever you say is going to change the way they see you, the way they feel about you, and that could be good or bad. I'm not saying whether it's one or the other. And I think that's why you've remained silent up till now, because you know that it could end up good or bad. Look, we have the Hierophant here. So I feel like you're going to take your time, and I think that's good. If it's this important to you, it feels like you should really take your time. Taurus is going to drag their heels. They're going to take their longest time to make the decision. And you're Scorpio, right? So you're going to take a long time to make a decision as well. Bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Pentacles, of course. You're holding back while you're in this Hermit energy, trying to figure out what to do, what to say. Did I do something wrong? It's like you're trying to find your own light. So you will have this sort of spiritual knowledge, or maybe you're trying to connect with somebody spiritually or intuitively. Trying to feel them out first before you say it. The 9 of Wands is here. And so I feel like it's a matter of, I feel like you think you may have hurt somebody. The Chariot's here. It's a very delicate balance of feelings. It keeps coming up because the Chariot is discipline. keeping, getting your shit together, keeping it all together, but also it's Cancer. That's emotional energy, which is under the surface. I think you're trying to have a conversation because the Ace of Swords just showed up and then the Empress is on the bottom of the deck. So it really does feel like you respect this person and you don't really want to hurt their feelings. So you've been silent. Rather than saying anything else, you've been silent until you find the words and the right thing to say. Everything has come to a screeching halt because I feel like you're trying to be very careful about how you say it because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or give them the wrong impression or idea about who you are, because integrity is important to you. All right, so we've got Pisces, Taurus, more Pisces. We've got Aquarius, Gemini energy, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius. I think this is going to expand the way things happen emotionally. So it almost tells me that when you finally open your mouth and you say what you're going to say, I feel like this person actually has more compassion for you because you are being honest. So Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, Aries, Gemini, and Virgo, more Scorpio energy, and Aquarian energy. Soften your words. Yeah, I'm going to say do it with soft words. Try and be soft with your words. Sagittarius, my fire family, how you doing? Let's find out what's going on with you, Sag, for the next 7 days. This reading is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Sagittarius. We've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Why is it in the reverse? Oh, Wheel is here. I don't think it's the right time. I think that's why the Knight is in the reverse. I think you're waiting on something or something's been delayed and it's just not the right time. But I've been attracting it for a dog's age, Elsie. Queen of Wands is here. Look, I feel like you're in the most attractive energy that you've ever been in. Queen of Wands is your energy. I think you are attracting. Yes. I feel like you're attracting it and you're like, you know what? Manifestation is a bunch of bunk. I've been manifesting this thing forever. Attracting. Elsie said, get in the best shape of your life. Emotionally, spiritually, financially, and everything will come. And it doesn't mean it's going to come right now, though. That's the thing. Look, I've been on this journey for 8 years. I'm finally getting some of the things that I've been manifesting, but I've been on this journey. Well, now it's the 9th year. It takes a while, right? And so I feel like somebody here is like, well, when is the wheel going to turn? The wheel turns when it does, right? It's none of your business. The wheel turns when it does. It expands things. It changes everything. And I feel like you're waiting for... Okay, Charlie just said, say something. I'm giving up on you. That's a song, right? I think you're about to give up on somebody who's not been verbal or vocal with you. Oh, that was 131:31 when I said that. So it does feel like you're getting ready to give up on someone because the Queen's not going to wait around, right? The Queen of Wands is not going to wait around for somebody to decide whether they're going to or whether they're not. The Queen knows her worth, right? And so I say she because there's a woman on the card, but listen, you could be a king who is also the Queen of Wands, right? You could be a masculine energy. We've got the 6 of Cups. This could be an old friend. I think you think about this person a lot. It's maybe it's nostalgic energy. It could be that, but it also feels like it's yeah, it could be a past person. I'm just saying, could be a past person. Let's talk about the Knight of Swords. What's the Knight of Swords here? We've got the 4 of Swords, got the Hanged Man, and the Ace of Cups. It does feel like a delay, friend. Yeah, it does feel like somebody's annoyed with the universe because something is not showing up, and the whole reason that I actually did all the work on myself to become the Queen of Wands is because I wanted this thing, right? That's what it feels like. I feel like it's been delayed, not because of anything you've done, but it's just not time yet, and that's why it's silent. The Knight of Swords is not moving in the reverse to me, or it's not saying what they want to say. What do I think they want to say? I feel like somebody's trying to get perspective on the Ace of Cups, because the Hanged Man is here with the Ace of Cups. So it feels like somebody here is trying to get perspective. They're trying to figure out what to say. The Four of Swords is here. I just want to speak the right words. The Hanged Man is looking toward the Four of Swords, so it almost feels like somebody needs to get some type of perspective first before they say something, and that's what the delay is. Somebody here doesn't want to speak quickly. It's just not time. It's just not time yet. And yes, I'm telling you to wait. I'm telling you to be patient, because it's just not time. It will be soon, though. Tower just showed up. It will be soon. And I think that's what we get from the Wheel and the Tower, is that towers fall in divine timing. When they're supposed to, they will. When things are ready to change and expand, the Tower shows up and says, fine, let's do it. Let's shift it all. The World card is here. And then we have, okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So it tells me things begin to speed up. It feels like whatever journey you're on is slowly coming to an end. So I feel like you've been waiting on something, someone, a situation, whatever. It feels like you have grown into somebody who doesn't really need it anymore. And that's why I always say with the Knight of Pentacles at hand that, sometimes we start on a journey with an ending in mind, and by the time we get close to the outcome, we're like, I don't know if I want that anymore. So I feel like there might be someone that you're thinking about nostalgically with the Six of Cups here. And I feel like as you're thinking about them, they might show up. You might see them somewhere. But the Tower is also shifting minds, or shifting the way I feel, because it's connected to the Six of Cups and the Ace of Cups. So it's sort of shifting the way I feel. You might change the way you feel about something and decide, yeah, maybe I can just close that chapter. I don't know, since I've been through so much change and working on myself, because the Queen of Wands is here, maybe I don't really want that thing anymore. But I feel like something is about to switch up here. A chapter is about to close, and I think it's supposed to close because somebody is showing up here. It almost feels like it is, it feels like a milestone or an outcome that is an achievement. It feels like the closing of a loop. Yeah. And then we have the Ten of Cups in the reverse, because this isn't at all what I thought it would be. It's amazing what happens sometimes when you grow and change and move to different vibrations in your life, and you start to learn lessons and see things from a different point of view. I'm going to say the thing that you thought was your Ten of Cups is something that you're like questioning now. Oh, I thought this was going to be different. So I think that you do get an opportunity to see something, someone, a situation again, revisit a situation with the Six of Cups. And I feel like it's shocking how you've changed how you feel about the situation. And I'm not saying that you feel badly or goodly about it. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. You'll feel what you feel. But I feel like it's been a very long journey that you've been on. And the Ten of Cups being in the reverse is, maybe I'm going to take a moment and look at that thing now and decide whether I really need it or not. Because now you become independent. You've also become a person who is made of rubber, right? You do the bounce back. You're a person who I feel doesn't really need anybody to pick them up. You fall down, you just get up. And I think that's what happened here. Maybe you thought you would never get up again, and you did. And then when this thing shows up, you're like, why did I fall down in the first place? That wasn't really worth it, was it? The outcome is the Three of Swords. It does feel like it has to do with somebody that broke your heart. We got the Three of Swords, the Temperance card, and the Five of Swords. Now you don't really know how you feel about it, because the Eight of Swords is present now. The moment of alchemy has come. Something here is showing up in a moment you didn't expect. Something's about to change. Instead of high highs and low lows, we're now really healed. I feel like you've already healed from whatever this was. It does feel like a bit of rejection, or somebody went silent on you. It could be a ghosting with the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords here. It could be something like that. And I think that this person shows up again at the party, in the social situation, in the DMs, whatever it is. And I think you're like, oh, well, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want that anymore. What's around the corner for Sagittarius? We've got the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, we got the Ten of Swords, and we got the Three of Pentacles. Look, you hurt me Ten of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, but I've grown from there. Whatever this person did, and that's what I mean about situations that maybe when you're in the moment you hate them and you're really angry and pissed off with them, and if you still are, I don't care. Feel the way you feel. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But when you do get to the other side of the whole situation, you realize that came to you as a lesson. It grows you, Eight of Pentacles. You start working on ways to not let that kind of thing happen again. Ten of Swords, it might have been really terrible. Like it might have been detrimental to your mental health. It could have been a betrayal. But I feel like when this situation shows up, you're like, or the person, you're like, yeah, that really hurt me, but I've grown from there. Three of Pentacles. I've started it over. I've started new. I'm on pretty solid ground and I'm pretty organized. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I have a group of friends. I'm in a new community. I have a new network of people. I'm in a new job. Like it feels like this person expected that you would just be Three of Swords, Five of Swords, that you would just be in this place of, you know, being broken down over them. And maybe they're coming back to say sorry or something. And you're like, I don't really care. Actually, I got something to do. Are you still going to hang around for a while? I don't think it could be any worse Sagittarius that you would be like, I kind of got to go. Is that all you had to say? All right. Yeah. We've got the Page of Cups. Oh my gosh. I don't think you're the one that's shocked. I think they are. I think somebody shows up to say sorry and you're like, yeah, no big deal. I got to go though. Are you good? Are you okay? All right. We got the Magician, the Seven of Wands, and the Death card. Look at that. I've changed. I got boundaries. I don't really care. You can come to the property line, but I'm not letting you in the yard anymore. That's what it feels like. Yeah, I've changed. I put up my boundaries now. Why? Because I've realized that I have the power. I feel like Sagittarius, you've realized I've got the power now. And I'm going to look you over and see if I'm even going to unclick the gate for you to come in. I don't know if I want you around anymore. Like it feels like you now understand that the power has shifted to you. And so you are the one creating your own reality, and you have all the tools and the resources you need to do so. So I feel like you are going to see somebody who shows up and they're going to give you some sort of a friendly offer just in order to make it feel better for them. The Ten of Wands is here. Somebody here has been silent with you, and I think that they just want to make something right. And it feels like it comes as an apology, and I don't think you care. To be honest, you're like, yeah, I'm good. Are you good? All right. We've got Capricorn and Piscean energy here. We've got Gemini energy and Piscean energy. Sorry, I thought I saw something on that card that I hadn't seen before. And then we've got Virgo energy a couple of times. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. This is a long time coming. I'm going to say whatever this is a really long time coming, and there's been a lot of water under the bridge since the tower happened. So tower is here, Scorpio energy. We've got Piscean energy, and Six of Cups is Scorpio. We've got Sagittarian, Leo, and Aries energy. Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, Sagittarius, Gemini, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. There we go. Enjoy. All right. Capricorn, let's find out what's going on for you, my friends. How are you, my Earth cousins? I hope you're well. Thanks for showing up here. I am reading for you if you are a Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter. Capricorn, let's find out what's going on the next 7 days. Cappies. Stop it. Tell me about Capricorn. I think I just heard thunder. We're going to have rain tonight. I love reading in the rain. Like not in the rain, but when it's raining. It's really powerful for me. Let's find out what's going on for you, Capricorn. We've got, what is this? Got the High Priestess in the reverse. Ooh. Secrets revealed. Let's find out what this is all about. We have, the King of Swords. Somebody speaks, Capricorn. Somebody here is about to be very honest and truthful. It does feel like somebody is about to give a secret. like to say something that was maybe secretive or maybe you didn't know about, and they're about to be very honest, truthful. They're coming with details. I think this is something that you've actually hoped for, because the star is here. And then we have the Six of Swords. Okay, this could be a confession. It feels like it could be a confession, and somebody is. It feels like the King of Swords being here feels like, okay, fine, I'll just say it then. Like that's what it feels like when it comes to the star being here in the Six of Swords. It feels like somebody is saying, oh, look, I'll just say it. I know you don't want to talk to me, but I'll just say it. I'm just going to be honest with you right now. It feels like, though, as they do that they do say something that you didn't know. They may be revealing some sort of secret. Tell me more about the High Priestess in the reverse. Five of Swords. Why? Ten of Cups. It's almost like relief. It feels like relief here, Capricorn. That you're relieved because, whew, that's why I didn't like you. Because we have fundamental differences. Like it feels like a relief. The Ten of Cups is here with the Five of Swords. So when it's finally released, when the secret is out, it does feel like you were arguing with yourself. It's almost like you were arguing with yourself, feeling like it was your fault, or that there was probably something that was going on with you that you didn't like them. Maybe, you know, when that person walks in the room and everyone else likes them and you're like, what? Why does everybody like them? Is it me? I don't like that person. It feels like that. But I feel like some sort of detail is released, something you didn't know about. And I feel like the Five of Swords and the Ten of Cups is telling me you stop fighting with yourself and you're kind of relieved that you didn't give in to it. That you're like the only person who didn't. It feels like a bit surprising. The Page of Wands is here. The information that's received is a bit surprising. It's a little bit shocking. It does feel like you're glad you never gave in. So I don't know, is this a person that you were swiping back and forth with, or someone that you had met on the apps? It feels like somebody here shows their true colors, because look, the King of Swords is, look, the King of Swords is honest and truthful, but doesn't deliver it in sugarcoating, right? So it also could be something that was said in the middle of a fight, understand? Because the Five of Swords is here with the King of Swords. So it could have been said in the middle of a fight. You know, they get heated and then people start grabbing things from 1975 and bringing them into the argument. It feels like somebody says something and you're like, I thought that was what's going on. And it feels like you learned some sort of truth that kind of takes you off the hook. And now you can move forward from this chaotic place of, is it my fault? Is it my fault? To the calm. The Six of Swords is here. Now I can move on knowing that I was right. I'd like to be right. We got the Death card. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. And we've got the Seven of Pentacles. I really think that you did your best to... your best intentions were here. I think that you tried to give this person your time, your effort, your energy, your money. It feels like this Ten of Pentacles tells me that the whole situation was quite abundant. But the Seven of Pentacles also tells me that your intention was to present it that way. I feel like the Death card being here, though, above the Six of Swords tells me it's almost like you didn't have a choice until the Death card showed up, and then that's when you're able to move forward. It does feel like you were blaming yourself for something. Look, maybe this person borrowed money and finally saying, look, I'm never going to pay that back, so maybe you shouldn't have given it to me. It feels like it's you did something with intention that was of the Ten of Pentacles energy. So you are very giving. You have more than you need. You're very giving. You're abundant, all of that stuff. And I feel like the King of Swords isn't a representation of Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I mean, it could be, but to me, it's an energy. You know, I'm an energy reader. To me, it's the energy of just saying it without sugarcoating it. And so it does feel like with the Death card next to the Ten of Pentacles, it does feel like there is a transformation or the ending of the Ten of Pentacles. Like, I'm not giving you that money back. I'm not selling you the house. Like, it feels like you're not getting what you deserve back from somebody here. And they're finally just being honest with you. Death and Ten of Pentacles, I'm just going to say on a side note, if this is not your reading, I'm just going to say somebody's financial situation is about to change. And when I see the Ten of Pentacles with the Death card, it tells me it's a very positive change. It's a transformation in your finances. Now, it feels like it's an intentional change in your finances, so that means that you did something to cause it. So you got a better job, or you did something good that you ended up getting a promotion for, or something like that. So that's on a side here, and that is going to probably make you feel very excited. Look, it could be that you're leaving a job, because the King of Swords to me is the person who does the interviewing, like the boss, the person who has the last word, right? So this could be job related too for some of you. Oh, that's maybe it, right? Charlie said they didn't get the raise. So maybe somebody said, yeah, at the end of the year. Yeah, at the end of the year. And you're going back to them in June and saying, well, what about the raise? And they're like, no, that's not exactly what I said. And you're like, yeah, it's exactly what you said. We've got the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so I'm just going to say you should never do this, but I feel like somebody's going to walk out in a blaze of glory. You're just going to stand up and say, well, if you're not paying me, I guess I'm not working here anymore. The Knight of Pentacles just showed up in the reverse. Everything stops. Yeah. So I think, Capricorn, somebody here gave you false hope, told you they were going to do something that they didn't do, told you they were going to pay you back after you lent them the money, and they didn't. It feels like something like that. It feels like it's said in the heat of the moment. An argument breaks out, and the Ten of Cups tells me that either Ten of Cups and the Page tell me that it was shocking or surprising. It shows up, but I feel like you're like, oh, okay. Now I get it. That's good. That's all I need to know. Just need to know where I'm at. Tell me what the outcome is. We've got the Eight of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Emperor. Look, they're like, no, don't go. We'll give you the raise. Like, that's what it feels like here. The Eight of Cups is the rebound, right? To me, it's the boomerang. And you throw it away, and they're like, no, don't walk out. Let's renegotiate that. Ace of Pentacles, here it is. And Emperor, no, that's good. I'm good. I can take care of me. Yeah, it's your choice. I mean, maybe you won't, maybe you will. But it feels like there might be a situation coming up here, and maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't have to do with money. Maybe it doesn't have to do with a job. Maybe it's a loan or something. Maybe you put a down payment on something, and then all of a sudden the price goes up and they won't give you that price. But it feels like something that was pre-negotiated, they go back on it, and I feel like you're like, nope, We've got the Queen of Swords. You're like, no, nope, you put up the boundary, friend. And you're really very honest with somebody here. I think that they expected you. Yeah, the Empress is here with the Five of Cups. They expected you to be a bleeding heart, because that's probably the cycle you got them in. Like, maybe you're used to saying, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's okay, because you're abundant, right? And so people will tend to take advantage of people who are abundant if you don't have boundaries for yourself. But I feel like you now have boundaries. The Queen of Swords is here. And you're like, that's not what we agreed on. King of Swords, Queen of Swords are both here. So I feel like this person gets frustrated and just says it in the middle of an argument. Five of Cups being here, I feel like now you realize that there's a little bit of a regret with being the Empress. Because when you are a person who is stable, you have your boundaries, you take care of yourself, you don't need anybody's help, you're making enough money, you've got the good job, whatever it is, people tend to depend on you. And they all expect you to be kind and loving and sweet and forgiving and all of that, and they just think that they can keep taking advantage of you. I think that the Queen of Swords is somebody meeting the wall, and you're saying, no, that's not how this is going this time. And then we have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is here. So I feel like somebody's a little bit shocked. I feel like this is a new road for you, though. It feels like this is a new road for you now, and you are, no, I'm the Emperor. This is my empire. No. So we have the Emperor and the Empress here. So whether you're the feminine or the masculine, it does feel like, the thing is that there's still this underlying regret of, I've got to say no. You just keep taking advantage of me. I've got to say no. So I feel like this is a new thing for you because the Ace of Wands is here. This is a new way that you're dealing with things. And I don't think people are expecting it of you. Yeah, Page of Swords. I don't think they're expecting it of you. Four of Swords. We got Five of Swords here. I don't think that they expected that you would be observing them from a distance. It feels like you have been observing someone from a distance who possibly is supposed to be paying back money or promised something previous to this and never came through on it. And I think you deal with it in a Nine of Cups way, but the King of Pentacles is here. I don't think you need them. But now you know who they are. And I don't think you'll ever do that again. But I think you're trying to be as kind as you can until you finally say, nope, that's not how this is going again. So we've got Libra and Taurus. We've got Virgo. More Virgo energy. More Virgo energy. We've got Scorpio. It's the death of something, my friend. It feels like it's the death of a relationship, friendship, job. Something is coming to an end or transforming. It's going to be very different from here forward. We've got Scorpio and Aries. No, Scorpio and Aquarius, sorry. And then we've got Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Pisces energy, Aries energy. Pisces energy. Lots of swords in that reading, so there's going to be some words. All right. Tell me about Aquarius. How you doing, Aquarius? This is a reading for you for the next 7 days, friend. For Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. Tell me about Aquarius. Tell me about Aquarius. Ooh, the Death card. Is that the Death card? Sure is. What's this? Got the Six of Swords. Nope. Sorry, Knight of Cups. I don't know why it's the Six of Swords. The light is shining and I couldn't see it. Yep. We've got the Knight of Cups and the Death card. We've got the Lovers in the reverse. Are you going to cut somebody? Like it feels like you're cutting somebody from the roster. I'm going to say. The Death card is here with the Knight of Cups here. It tells me, nah, brah. No. It feels like, I don't think you've done it yet, but I think you're about to make that choice. The Lovers in the reverse tells me you've realized that this is not the one for you or the situation for you or the job for you or the person for you. It does feel like there are emotions attached to it. But when the Death card shows up, it's about something changing or something ending. So it does feel like you're questioning it. Three of Cups is here. So it almost feels like you're revisiting something or having some type of reunion, or you go out to a social situation. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're like, yeah, I thought I wanted to go out here. And no, I don't. And that's many of the Aquariuses that I know. I only know 3. And it's like when I see them in a crowd, it's like, oh my God, is this over yet? Is this over yet? The small talk is killing me. I'm dying with the small talk. So it does feel like with the Lovers in the reverse and the Three of Cups here, that I feel like it feels like there is celebratory energy or a social situation. And it feels like you have not yet, you've not quite yet made the decision. Look, maybe you're invited as a couple to go somewhere and you intend on releasing yourself from the situation. You intend on ending it. And maybe this is somewhere you two have to go as a couple. It could be that. Tell me why the Death card is here. You know when you're a couple and you have a fight or an argument, and then you have to go to somebody's house for dinner or you have to go to a social thing? But this feels like you've had enough. Like it feels like the Death card tells me that this is about to end and you still have to go through with the social interaction. We've got the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. And we've got the Devil energy. And we've got the Two of Pentacles. I feel that you are about to make a decision. Two of Pentacles feels like a decision in the 3D. This is not something you're thinking about. It's not something you're feeling. I feel like somebody here has been breadcrumbing you. Yeah. It feels like somebody is not really giving you their attention. I think your little spidey senses are going off. I always say it feels like you, the death card here, the devil here is like, this keeps happening over and over, and it's giving me doubt as to what's going on here. I think that you are about to make a decision. It feels like it could be in a long-term relationship or a long-term job. It feels like somebody is not really giving you their energy anymore. Maybe the boss keeps saying, I'm too busy to talk about your raise. I think that when you got into this relationship, if that's what we're talking about, it feels like you got into this relationship not really knowing if this was your person, but feeling like it deserved your effort. So I think you did it. And I think it was happy for a time, if that's the case. But I think it slowly turned into the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Somebody's not keeping up with their side of the bargain. Somebody's not giving you their time or their effort. It's like they only come to you when they have nothing better to do, it feels like. And this keeps happening because the devil is here. Keeps happening in a loop over and over again. It's making you doubt the whole situation. So you have to make a decision. And with the death card here, I feel like you're on the verge of, no, you can't do this to me. I think it's time for me to end this. We've got the Three of, is that the Three of Wands? Yep, the Three of Wands. We've got the King of Swords. Yeah. And the Chariot. Yes. So I think this is what you're thinking about in the future. Look, I think that you're going to, you're going to perform as you would in a social situation, if that's what we're talking about. If you're sort of in an argument with this person, and this could be a friend. I mean, we're talking about Six of Pentacles, but we do have the Knight of Cups here. I think you expected more. You expected that somebody would have a little bit more respect for you than to just back away, that they would be more honest and truthful, because that's how you deal, right? The Three of Wands is telling me that in the future, the King of Swords shows up. Look, you don't want to provoke the King of Swords. I'm just saying, don't push him into being the King of Swords. I'm warning everybody else, Aquarius. Yeah. Oh, if you're an Aquarius moon, because I'm seeing the Chariot here, that's Cancer, ruled by the moon. But if you're an Aquarius moon, your cutoff game is pristine. Pristine. Yes. I feel like it's about time that you were honest with somebody about what's going to happen in the future. I feel like it's going to happen sooner than they want to. Somebody here, I feel like is not giving you the attention that you want. It feels like gameplay to me. They're probably giving someone else their attention. And it feels like with the Chariot here that you just decide to discipline your feelings and go with the King of Swords energy. You're like, you're only getting what I give you. Yeah, I'm not going to be showing up like I was before, because it feels like somebody's trying to take advantage of you here. Yeah, it feels like it could be a family member or a friend too. It could be somebody at work. It could be your boss, because I do see the King of Swords as somebody with authority who makes the last decision. That could be you, quite, of course, but it could be your boss as well. We've got the Sun here. You see it all. Yeah, and that's the thing with Aquarius energy. No matter where it comes up, it's like, I'm going to make sure that I have all the details. So if you want to sit down and talk to me, go toe to toe, I will give it to you. I'll give you all the details. I'll tell you what you did Tuesday at 2:00. I'll tell you exactly when you looked at me sideways. You will give them all of the details. And so the King of Swords is here, and the Sun is right under the King of Swords. So you're going to let somebody know. Yeah, I think you're going to let somebody know. But I think that you are holding back your emotions on it. So they're getting the straight up swords is what they're getting. They're getting the unfiltered King of Swords, whether you are the feminine or the masculine king. When you're somebody who is bringing all the details, the Sun is here with the King of Swords. When you're somebody who's bringing all the details, I'm just going to tell you exactly what's been going on here. It does feel like you have to be in your masculine energy to deliver that sort of energy. So whether you're a man or a woman, I feel like you're stepping into your masculine energy to put up some boundaries and say, that's not how it goes down here. And I've been watching you, so I know exactly what's going on. So we have the Seven of Pentacles. We've got the Fool. And we have the Hermit. Yeah, I feel like you jump straight into Hermit mode. Because I think that's really, for the most part, I feel like that is really what you do when you've been hurt, instead of, well, first of all, you're going to be super honest. But second of all, it feels like you're going to back away and just go into Hermit energy. Yeah, I feel like you've got some things to work on because the Seven of Pentacles is here. I think you pull back like the Hermit energy. You're never going to let anybody see when they hurt you, right? It's going to be under the surface. They're not going to be able to read it on your face anyway at all. But the Hermit is the place where we go for self-preservation. So I feel like it's like, I better pull my energy back or lose my shit right now. That's what it feels like. The Fool is here. And so I feel like what you're taking a leap into is, maybe I just need to pull all my energy back. And what you're jumping into is the Hermit energy. So I think that the Seven of Pentacles is, I worked really hard on this. And I put myself out there, and it just didn't work out. What's around the corner for Aquarius? The World card. Comes to an end. Got to close the loop, friend. We got the Ten of Cups. I think that you realize you're happier after that, to be honest. Because it's stressful, right? Wondering what's going on. Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Why do I keep giving you energy and you're not giving me anything? Who are you talking to? Feels like that sort of energy. Then we have the Three of Swords. Yeah. I would rather be in the Ten of Cups by myself than be in the Three of Swords with you. And then we have the Page of Wands. Yeah, Page of Wands. So I feel like, Page of Wands. It tells me that maybe it's time for an adventure. Maybe that's the way you cure yourself. Sorry, got these allergies. Maybe that's the way you heal, I'm going to say, is after a chapter closes, maybe you just get away. Maybe you go on an adventure. We've got the Two of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, makes a decision to make a really big purchase, possibly, to go on a journey. Yep. Knight of Pentacles. So it does feel like you are probably going to heal yourself through travel, or to take yourself on some individual adventures. That's what it feels like. But it feels like it's the time of healing for you. We've got Scorpio energy. We've got Libra and Leo, Cancer, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Pisces energy, Aries, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. Might have been a long-term relationship. We've got Virgo and Capricorn, Aries and Cancer. We've got the Lovers, Gemini, and then we've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy here. All right. Excuse me. Let's find out what's going on for you, Pisces. Last but never least, friends. My two fishes friends, my water family. Let's find out what's going on for you. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter signs. And for the next 7 days, tell me about Pisces. What can Pisces expect, please? What can Pisces expect? We've got the Nine of Cups in the reverse. We've got the Seven of Cups. We've got the Judgment card. Something that you thought was going to turn out the way you thought it would didn't turn out that way. Did that make sense? I'm at the end of a 2.5 hour read. Maybe it's not making sense. But the Seven of Cups tells me you had a lot of opportunities. You had a lot of choice, but it was overwhelming choice. The Nine of Cups turns up in the reverse, which tells me something is not as it seemed. It feels like disillusionment. I thought it was going to be one way and it wasn't. Judgment ends up showing up here. Why is that? Two of Pentacles. Judgment shows up so you will make a decision. So I think that the Seven of Cups is here. Very interesting story here. Seven of Cups is here, which is spoiled for choice, right? That's having a lot of options, a lot of opportunity. The Judgment card shows up to say, This has come up before. Are you going to do it or are you not going to do it? Because doing this will change your path. You need to make a decision. Two of Pentacles. But with the Nine of Cups in the reverse, you're like, I don't know, maybe I don't want it. This isn't what I thought it would be. Maybe you're standing in front of your wish fulfillment and you're like, this isn't what I thought it would be. We've got the Ace of Cups. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Oh, you're seeing things clearly, friend. So atop the Nine of Cups here, we've got the Ace of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles. You know what? It almost feels like, but I thought I wanted that person. And then when they show up, because it feels like they're coming back around, because I think the end of the month is retrograde. I don't know where it's retrograding, by the way. If you know, please tell me in the comments. But it feels like this Ace of Cups is what you're delusioned with, like you're in disillusionment about. I thought this was love. I thought this was the new beginning, but then the King of Swords shows up and intellectualizes everything and says, I don't think it is. I thought it was what I wanted at the time back there, but I really just think we're partners. I think we're just friends. I don't know if it goes much past the cooperation, collaboration part of it. I don't know if it goes much past the being friends of friends. Maybe it doesn't go past there. But I think it took it going away and showing back up for you to realize that it was never for you. Because when things go away, right, even if we want them to go away at the time, and this has always mystified me why people want the ex to come back, because there's been so much change on both sides that you are thinking of the situation as it was at the time you were in it, and you thought you wanted that thing because where it stayed was the last snapshot you had of it. And I feel like you've grown so much and someone else has grown so much. The situation has changed as a whole, and I don't think you see it as love anymore. I think you're looking at it like, oh, yeah, we are good friends. I think that's it. I think it's just that you're good friends. But I feel like you have so many opportunities now, and I am talking about relationship, I think, or it could be a job, right? You have so many opportunities now that this particular opportunity doesn't really matter. So it comes back around. Judgment says, well, are you ready to make the decision? Because it's going to take you on a different path in your life. And you've got now so many other opportunities, whether it's love or a job or whatever it is, career path, that you're like, oh, well, it's showing up now, but now I've got more clarity because it's in the past. And the King of Swords is here to say, now I'm going to intellectualize it and look at it with practicality in the Three of Pentacles. And maybe I don't really want that thing. Tell me more. The Sun is in the reverse. So I think that, excuse me, you realize that you would have never grown. Maybe that person hasn't grown an inch spiritually, physically. Maybe they have not changed a bit. And when we grow, as we grow, we're supposed to change and not stay the same. That's the indication of growth, right? It's not staying the same. So we have the Sun in the reverse, which tells me now I realize why I'm not back there in that situation, because the universe wanted me to grow. And the Sun in the reverse to me is, yeah, the sun is here. You can see everything. It's sun shining. I equate it to laying on the beach. Laying on the beach is enjoyable. Who would want to do that, especially if you live in a cold environment or climate? But nothing is growing while you're laying there. Like there's nothing growing. Like you're getting a great tan, but you're not learning anything. So it feels like that's what you realize here, that I would have never grown if I would have stayed in that position here. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, because I think that you meet the past in the present at the Nine of Pentacles. You're somebody who's either been single for a while, or you've built something, or you've changed, or you've grown. You've really built yourself to this beautiful pre-empress energy, whether they're the man or the woman. And I think that people are shocked. We've got the Page of Cups here. So I think that you might be shocked for two reasons. One, that you now see your own growth, because the person or the situation that shows up from the past that you thought you wanted, maybe this was the most prestigious job with the most prestigious place ever. And now that it shows up, you're like, no way, those people want me. Why would I go back there? I feel like the past is only showing up to make you realize how much you've grown and how much you really never needed it. And then we have the Four of Swords. It gives you complete and total clarity. Yeah. I feel like immediately you're healed from wanting that thing. That's what it feels like. So the 4s are all about stability. You get stability, clarity of the mind, right? And I think that you thought you wanted that thing, and maybe you did for a very long time. But it feels like the surprise and the shock of realizing that you would have never grown had you stayed back there. I think that's kind of beautiful, but it is a bit shocking, right? Yeah. All right. See how it comes. We've got the Strength card, we've got the 5 of Cups, and we've got the 7 of Wands. So the Strength card is courage. It's also the ability to be able to hold back. The 5 of Cups is regret. I don't think that you're in regret any longer. So it feels like somebody out there is about to meet someone from their past, maybe during retrograde, and as it shows up, you're no longer in regret. You're holding back regret. You now have courage to say, 7 of Wands, nope, sorry, I've got my boundaries. I'm standing up for myself now. I've got my boundaries, and I feel like I've grown past this already. That's really cool. So I feel like you intend on keeping this person as a friend, or maybe staying in touch with them. It's not like you hate them, I don't think. I feel like it's just been made clear that this person is part of your group or your friend group, or this is somebody here who is somebody that you would cooperate and collaborate with, maybe bounce things off of in a network of people. Maybe it has to do with work. But it feels like whatever it is that is showing up is going to reveal to you that how much you've grown. Because as much as you thought you wanted it, when it shows up and it hasn't changed at all, you're like, look how much I've grown. There's no way I want to go backwards. We've got the Queen of Wands. We've got the Tower. We got the Page of Swords. Okay, Charlie's so cheeky. Charlie is my guide. You know what this says to me? The Queen of Wands is the one who's attracting everything, right? But then I saw a magnet, and I saw spoons and forks and paper clips. So it's like you never know what you're attracting. Look, it's great to be in the Empress energy. It's great to be in this Queen of Wands energy where you're attracting everything you want, but you're also going to attract, you're going to attract silver and gold, but you're also going to attract the paper clips. And so I feel like, sorry, I know I'm silly, but look, it's a realization that you cannot pick and choose what you're attracting when you're in this attractive energy, but you can sure damn just look it over. You can damn well look it over, man, and say, no thank you. Once you observe it, when you observed it from a distance, like I said, because when you were back there, you were in that vibration. Maybe you didn't realize they were doing too much of one thing that was tanking their lives, because you were into doing too much of one thing that was tanking your life. But I feel like you get out of the situation and you grow. But I feel like this Tower is a shocking revelation or realization as you look over the situation or the person who has returned, is that you're in the Queen of Wands energy. You're attracting everything, but you have to sift through the paper clips, the gold, and the silver. Oh boy. And then we have the 8 of Swords. So we have the 8 of Swords. I'm going to ask why. Because it's like you're up in your head, but I feel like it's a what? Really? Is that what that thing looks like? We've got the Empress. Yes, there it is. The Empress, the Page of Wands, and the Ace of Swords is shocking. It's shocking. You get clarity immediately at what you left back there was not as valuable as you thought it was. You thought it was valuable because you were mirroring that energy at the time. So I don't know what went on back there, but you've grown past that. And I think that you want the ex, you want them back, you want the love story. And then when they do show up, you're like, what? Wait, what? Is that what you really look like? Now, I'm not talking about physical looks, but maybe that person didn't ever stop doing the thing that tanked your life. And maybe they rejected you and it was horrifying and awful, but you ended up moving forward and healing and coming into this Empress energy. And now you're looking it over. You're like, what? And now all of a sudden you've got clarity about what went on back there. So I'm going to say that the 8 of Swords is like up in your head, like, should I say it? No, I won't say it. I shouldn't say it. I should just shake hands and leave. Like, what should I say? That's what it feels like here. I'm going to look in the bottom of the deck. We got the Moon. Things are not as they seem. And that's what I mean about this whole wanting to reunite with the ex thing. The Death card is here. You get to see things for what they actually are, because there's no more illusion. You're in the 10 of Pentacles, friend. And they're coming back because they see how abundant you are, and they still have feelings? And you're like, no thanks. 10 of Swords. You're like, no, not giving you a chance to betray me a second time. That's what it feels like. All right, so we have Sagittarian energy. We have the Empress here. Look, you're looking great. I feel like you've changed and grown. We have Taurus and Libra here. We have Virgo and Pisces and Cancer. We have Leo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Yeah, I think you come to a realization here. We've got more Leo energy, and there's you putting up your boundaries. Thanks, but no thanks. That's what it feels like here. We've got Cancer and Pisces and Scorpio here with Virgo energy as well. Looking over the details has brought you to a much different realization. All right? I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for coming here and watching. I do appreciate you. I will get to the weeklies right away so I can get you more energy. And I guess I'm going to go. You guys have a good day or two. I'll see you in a couple days. Be well. Bye-bye.